The obsidian chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with anti-gravity fields, as 7 alien representatives floated in their designated positions. At the center, holographic evidence flickered surveillance footage of a human, named Parker Morrison, decimating a Krell war squadron single-handedly. "This human is too dangerous," hissed Councillor Vexither, his serpentine body coiling with agitation. "He has violated Protocol 7 Alpha by interfering in a sanctioned conflict." The other councillors murmured agreement. Humans had only been part of the galactic community for 30 cycles, yet they already proved troublesome with their unpredictable nature and refusal to follow established norms. "The sentence is death," declared High Arbiter Zinn, her crystalline form pulsing red. "Dispatch the Void Hunters immediately." What the Council didn't know was that Parker Morrison wasn't alone. Across the galaxy, on the mining colony of Epsilon 7, Nancy Chen was monitoring Council frequencies when the death order came through. Nancy's fingers flew across her terminal. She and Parker had served together in Earth's deep space reconnaissance, before the Council had disbanded all human military units, deeming them excessively aggressive. But old soldiers never truly retired. "Parker, we've got a problem," Nancy transmitted on their encrypted channel. "Council just greenlit a kill order on you." Parker's voice crackled back, calm despite the news. "How long do I have?" "Void Hunters travel fast. 12 hours, maybe less. Then I guess we're doing this the hard way." Nancy smiled grimly. She'd hoped it wouldn't come to this, but deep down, she'd been preparing for it. Humans didn't take well to being told what to do, especially when the orders were unjust. The Void Hunters arrived at Parker's coordinates exactly 11 hours later, their ships materializing from quantum slipspace like predatory shadows. Captain Kralix, a veteran of 1,000 assassinations, led the squadron. Humans were formidable, yes, but they were still mortal. This would be routine. It wasn't. Parker's ship, the Defiant, met them not with retreat, but with aggressive maneuvering that defied physics. He'd modified his vessel with human engineering, something the Council had forbidden, but never successfully prevented. While alien ships relied on conventional thrust, Parker's craft used controlled antimatter bursts that created acceleration patterns no computer could predict. Impossible. Kralix roared as his targeting systems failed to lock. "He's moving like he knows our tactics." He did, because Nancy had spent the last 11 hours hacking Council military databases, feeding Parker every tactical algorithm the Void Hunters possessed. The first Hunter ship exploded in a brilliant flash. Then the second. Parker's weapons weren't standard issue either. Humans had a disturbing talent for turning anything into armaments. His railguns fired at relativistic speeds, turning simple tungsten rods into planet killers. But Kralix was no amateur. He split his formation, attempting to flank. That's when Nancy made her move. From Epsilon 7, she launched a digital assault on the Council's communication network, not to disable it but to broadcast. Every species in the galaxy suddenly received the same transmission. Footage of the Council ordering Parker's execution without trial, without evidence of actual wrongdoing. Just fear of human potential. The reaction was immediate. Across 100 worlds, species that had suffered under Council tyranny began to question. The Minari, who'd lost their homeworld to Council regulations. The Torgash, whose culture had been deemed incompatible and suppressed. Even some Council members' own populations began to protest. In the Epsilon system, Parker finished off the last Void Hunter, but he didn't celebrate. Instead, he set course for Council space. Nancy contacted him again. "You know what you're doing is suicide, right?" "Probably," Parker admitted. "But I'm tired of hiding. Tired of pretending we're less than we are just to make them comfortable." "Then you won't be going alone." Within hours, Nancy had rallied dozens of human ships, merchants, miners, explorers, all of them tired of Council restrictions. They weren't warriors, but they were human, and that meant they'd fight when pushed far enough. The armada that appeared at the Council homeworld was ramshackle, unimpressive by military standards, but it moved with purpose, and it broadcast a simple message: we came in peace. We followed your laws, but we will not be executed for your fears. High Arbiters in watched the human fleet approach with growing horror. Sensors showed their weapons were armed, their shields at maximum. If they attacked, the resulting battle would devastate the home world. But more terrifying than their weapons was what Nancy had unleashed the truth. The Council's member species were demanding answers. Some were threatening secession. The carefully constructed order that had ruled for millennia was cracking. Open a channel. Zin commanded, her crystalline form flickering with uncertainty. Parker's face appeared on the view screen. Flanked by Nancy, they looked tired but resolute. Councilor Zin, Parker began. You ordered my death because I saved innocent lives, because I acted when your protocols said to wait. You're afraid of humans not because we're violent, but because we remind you of what you've forgotten, that rules serve people, not the other way around. Zin's form pulsed rapidly, the crystalline equivalent of distress. What do you want? Equality, Nancy answered. No more special restrictions. No more treating us like children who need supervision. We'll follow reasonable laws, but we won't be executed for being ourselves. The council chamber erupted in argument, but as Zin reviewed the date of the uprisings, the protests, the fracturing loyalty, she realized they had no choice. Agreed, she said finally. The death order is rescinded. We will renegotiate humanity's status. Parker exchanged glances with Nancy. They'd won. But both knew this was just the beginning. As the human fleet turned to leave, Councilor Vexither slithered close to Zin. We made a mistake today, he whispered. Yes, Zin agreed, watching the human ships disappear into slipspace. We forgot the most important rule: never corner a human. They don't know how to quit. Across the galaxy, that lesson would be remembered for generations. The day the Galactic Council learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their tactics. It was that when you pushed them, they pushed back harder.